She may not say anything, not a single word. But silence speaks too. There are 10 signs that a girl is attracted to you, and the most dangerous part is that she'll never admit it. Not because she doesn't feel it, but because feeling scares her, because showing interest changes the game. While you think it's just your imagination, something real might be happening right in front of you. Today you'll understand why these 10 signs that a girl is attracted to you go unnoticed, and why she'll never admit it even when she wants to. If you're a man who wants to learn how to read what isn't being said, subscribe to the channel now. Here we talk about attraction, psychology, and relationships in a way nobody else explains. And one more thing, we're on a mission to reach 1,000 subscribers, so your subscription right now is part of that story. Top. Changes her behavior when you arrive. When a girl feels attracted, her body reacts before her mind can hide it. It's almost automatic. What's interesting is that these changes aren't obvious, nothing like a romantic movie scene. They're micro-adjustments. She straightens her posture, changes her tone of voice, becomes slightly more energetic, or in some cases, strangely quieter. If you pay attention, you'll notice the energy in the room shifts the moment you show up. A simple example makes this clearer. Picture a casual meeting, a coffee shop, or even a work environment. She was relaxed, talking to everyone in a neutral way. You walk in, and suddenly she starts touching her hair more, adjusting her clothes, or choosing her words more carefully. There's no rehearsal, no strategy. It's her body trying to make a good impression without her having to admit it, not even to herself. The key detail is that many men ignore this sign because they're waiting for something obvious. But silent attraction never screams, it whispers. And once you start noticing these small changes, you begin to see patterns repeating themselves. The real question is, why do some women act so subtly, almost as if they're fighting their own interest? That's where the next sign starts to make even more sense. TOPIC2, she pays attention to details almost no one else notices. When a girl is attracted, her attention goes beyond the obvious. She's not listening just to be polite, she's absorbing everything. Small, seemingly irrelevant details stick with her as if they carry emotional weight. A random comment, a passing preference, an old story, all of it gets stored, even if she never admits why. Think about a common situation. You casually mention you don't really like a certain place, song, or food. Weeks later, she avoids it or casually says, "Oh yeah, I remembered you don't like that." To outsiders, it looks like good manners or a good memory. In reality, it's emotional investment. The human brain only remembers what it considers important. What's interesting is that she does this while trying to make it seem natural, like it's no big deal. But when you connect the dots, you realize she knows more about you than she should by chance, and that raises a quiet question. Why would someone put in that much effort to observe another person without any interest involved? This pattern becomes even clearer when she starts testing something beyond observation. Topic 3. She tests your boundaries in disguised ways. When attraction exists, curiosity follows. Who is he really? That's when many women start testing boundaries in subtle ways, almost like an invisible game. These aren't obvious tests or direct confrontations. They're light comments, playful teasing, or small disagreements thrown into the conversation just to see how you react. For example, she might tease something you said, challenge one of your opinions, or create a mild moment of jealousy, all with a smile. It's not an attack, it's analysis. She wants to see if you stay confident, if you respond with humor, or if you get icily shaken. These moments reveal far more about you than any rehearsed conversation ever could. The key point is this: these tests only happen when there's interest. No one wastes energy testing someone who doesn't matter, and the more natural you stay, without trying too hard to impress or defend yourself, the more comfortable she becomes. From there, something interesting starts to happen, even while trying to hide it. Her body begins to reveal signals she can't fully control. Topic 4. She tries to act indifferent, but fails through microsignals. When a girl feels attraction, but doesn't want to admit it, indifference becomes a common mask. She tries to act like you're just another person, keeping her posture controlled, responses neutral, and sometimes even distant. The problem is, the body rarely cooperates with that plan. That's when microsignals start to leak through. Even while acting distant, she tracks your movements with her eyes, reacts before thinking when you speak, or smiles almost involuntarily. Sometimes she takes longer to reply, but when she does, the message is more thoughtful than it should be. These are small cracks in the disguise, hard to fake for long. What's fascinating is that this mix of distance and attention creates silent tension. Many men read this as disinterest and pull away, when in reality the interest is there, just blocked by fear or insecurity. And when that barrier starts to crack, an even more revealing behavior shows up, especially when other people enter the picture. Topic 5. She randomly shows up in the same places as you. When a girl is attracted, her curiosity naturally looks for proximity, and that doesn't always happen directly. Instead of clear invitations, repeated coincidences appear. Start noticing she shows up in the same places, at the same times, as if it were random. Once is chance, twice maybe. But when it becomes a pattern, coincidence loses its power. It could be the gym, a specific cafe, a casual event, or even shared social circles. She never says it's because of you. Everything looks spontaneous. But in reality, she's creating safe opportunities to be near you, observe, and feel the vibe without exposing herself too much. It's a smart and emotionally comfortable way to maintain connection. The detail is that these quiet approaches usually come with a different kind of attention. A longer look, a quick smile, a silent presence that doesn't go unnoticed. And when she realizes that you're starting to notice these coincidences too, something shifts in her behavior, especially when other women are involved. Topic 6. She shows jealousy in indirect ways. When attraction is real, jealousy shows up, but almost never directly. Instead of confrontations or demands, she takes subtle routes. Innocent-sounding questions, comments dropped casually, or slight mood changes when you mention another woman. Nothing obvious enough to be called jealousy, but present enough to be felt. For example, you casually mention talking to someone, and she responds with a different kind of, "Oh, cool, shorter, less engaged." Or she asks a strategic question, pretending it's nothing. Are you too close? It's not social curiosity. It's her trying to understand the space she occupies, even without admitting it to herself. This kind of reaction only appears when emotional attachment is forming. People who don't care don't feel threatened, and the more she tries to hide that discomfort, the more it leaks through the details. That's exactly when the connection starts to deepen, because right after jealousy comes something even more delicate. The desire to open up in ways she doesn't with just anyone. Topic 7. She shares vulnerabilities she doesn't share with everyone. When a girl starts opening up emotionally, it's a sign that attraction has moved beyond the surface. She begins sharing insecurities, difficult experiences, or thoughts she usually keeps guarded. This isn't random venting. It's trust forming, even if she's not consciously aware of it. It could be a past experience, a fear she still carries, or something that left an emotional mark. She chooses you as the listener because she feels safe there. That safety doesn't come out of nowhere. It comes from how you listen, how you respond, and how you don't rush to fix everything. Sometimes quiet presence speaks louder than advice. What's interesting is that after these moments, the connection shifts. Conversations feel deeper, silences feel comfortable, and the bond gains an invisible layer. And when this emotional intimacy starts forming, a new behavior appears. She begins seeking something beyond your attention. She wants your validation. Topic 8. She seeks emotional validation, not just attention. As attraction matures, attention alone isn't enough. She starts looking for something more subtle, emotional validation. It's not just about replies or presence. It's about wanting to know what you think, how you see situations, and how you interpret her and the world around her. For instance, she might ask your opinion about personal decisions, life choices, or even small insecurities. It's not because you have all the answers, but because your perspective matters. When someone values your viewpoint, they're silently saying you hold emotional weight in their life. This creates a quiet dynamic of closeness. She feels seen when you truly listen, and you realize she wants more than casual interaction. And it's right at this point that something curious happens. The connection stops being just conversation and starts turning into moments of intimacy that don't rely on physical touch. Topic 9. She creates emotional intimacy, not physical intimacy. When attraction is real, the first step isn't always physical. Often. She creates small pockets of emotional intimacy, moments where the conversation slows down and the outside world fades away. There's no touch, but there is presence. And for those who know how to observe, that says a lot. It could be a long conversation late in the day, messages exchanged outside normal hours, or even a comfortable silence when you're together. These moments aren't rushed or distracted. She's fully there. And that kind of attention isn't given randomly, it's reserved for someone who triggers something deeper. What's interesting is that the more these moments repeat, the more she gets emotionally invested without realizing it. Connection gains emotional weight, and the risk of exposure increases. That's exactly why she often freezes at the final step. Because admitting what she feels would mean losing control over something she's been trying to balance from the start. Topic 10. She never admits it, because she's afraid of losing control. At the core, her silence isn't a lack of feeling, it's too much caution. Admitting attraction would mean giving up the emotional control she's been holding on to since the beginning. There's fear of vulnerability, fear of rejection, fear of shifting the dynamic between you. So instead of speaking, she feels. Instead of declaring, she observes. Many women learn, consciously or not, that showing too much can be risky. So they prefer to operate behind the scenes, leaving signals, building connection, and waiting for the other person to notice. It's not a game. It's emotional self-protection. When she doesn't admit it, it's usually because it matters more than she wants it to. And this is where everything connects. All the previous signs make sense once you understand that silence communicates too. The attraction was there the whole time, just hidden behind the fear of losing something that hasn't even begun yet. And from that understanding, the entire story shifts perspective. Conclusion. Now the question is simple. How many of these signs have you already seen and ignored? How many opportunities passed because you were waiting for something explicit when attraction almost never is? Apply what you learned today with awareness, calmness, and presence. Observe more, react less, trust patterns. Change begins when you stop doubting yourself and start reading what isn't said. If this content helped you see things differently, subscribe to the channel now and turn on notifications, because here you learn attraction psychology the real way, without fantasy. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and your subscription today isn't just a click, it's a step toward becoming a more aware, confident man who recognizes the right opportunities.